Hi, Troy. Thank you so much for joining us today. We're going to start with Mike Kliss of Nine News. Go ahead, Mike.
Yeah, Troy, like all young receivers, you haven't caught all the balls thrown your way in your NFL career, but you caught them all yesterday. What kind of tips have you learned along the way, or what are some of the techniques as far as catching the ball consistently once you get to the NFL?
Um, Honestly, I think it's some ways, just how you and the quarterback are on the same page, and then, just catching the ball. I've been doing that my whole life, and I just think sometimes, you know, it's just, a thing of, being on the same page and things like that, so I think that's for the most part, I think I can sometimes do a better job of, just making sure I'm, locking in on everything I need to do with, just seeing the ball in, keeping my fingers close, and just making sure I'm securing that ball. But for the most part, I think, if we're on the same page like we were yesterday and stuff, then, we can make it happen.
Nick Kosmider, The Athletic.
Hey Troy, can you take me through the touchdown that they didn't call, or that they called off? Did you feel like right
Yeah.
away that that you clearly knew that you never touched the ground when you went back and saw it? Kind of how much did that hurt?
I mean, yeah, now, it always hurts when they don't give a touchdown that was really made, man. But I already knew that I scored, and they kind of just let one slip through the cracks, man. So that was just the deal, it was early in the game, so we had a lot more to go, so kind of just flush it and move on.
Zach Stevens, DNVR.
Troy, can you take me through the touchdown that you actually were given credit for a little bit later in the game and making that catch in the end zone?
Yeah, man. So if you guys really remember Dallas, it was almost the same play. It really was, but yeah, that play there is more of a fill route, getting me going on, full head of steam, full speed. And yeah, man, I'm just trying to, fill out the routes, fill out where the DB is, read the coverage, and, both got a good placement on the ball, and, line blocking it up well, and we made a play. So that's what we got going.
Brandon Cristal, Guerrilla Sports.
Hey, Troy, I'm curious. We've heard the defense talk about how they're all playing for each other and they don't mind a half sack here and there, or they'll joke that someone stole their sack. But, and Cortland always talks about wanting his other guys to succeed. So do you think the camaraderie and kind of selflessness that the receivers, I think, exhibit comes from Cortland, or is it, man to man and it's just a collective, I guess, approach?
I think that's a collective thing for sure. I think we all want everybody to go out there and eat, and we obviously all know who the big dog in the room is and stuff like that. But even him, he knows he wants us to all go out there and eat when he's being doubled, or whenever, it's just, one of us else have to, just take that torch or whatever the case is. So I think it's great that we all have the mentality to, just not be selfish and know that a lot of plays will be made in the game and the ball will find us, And I think Bo does a good job of getting everybody the ball. And yeah, we stay ready. So I think that's most of it right there for sure.
Last question, Luca Evans of the Denver Post.
Yeah, Troy, kind of in the same vein. I'm curious. Sean has talked so much this season at times, trying to get Evan the ball or trying to get Marvin the ball or different game
Yeah.
plans where, he's trying to get certain guys targets. But, for you, when a game plan comes around in a week where maybe you're not as featured as much because of coverages or defenses or anything like, what is your approach as a receiver in those moments, knowing that, hey, I'm maybe not the number one on as many of these progressions this week as I was last week? Like, how do you just mentally approach those weeks, and kind of the shifting nature of game planning?
Honestly, just knowing that the games can unfold anyway. We put in plays for certain coverages and stuff like that, but we may not always get that coverage, and somebody else might have to be ready. So I think just always having the mentality that the ball can be thrown to me every play, and I think we should always just have that. Whether we're getting the targets whether we're featured or whatever. So I think that we all do a good job of that as a whole. So like I said, man, yeah, I think that's just, the whole little deal with that.
Troy, thank you so much for taking the time to chat with us today.
No doubt. Thank you.